And welcome, everybody, to another episode of Come Play With Us, Danny, the horror movie review podcast.
Hello.
Hosted by me and my sister Megan.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
It's been a while since we've seen you.
Yes,
Look how long my beard is now.
I see that. I was asking you if you were going to cut some wood with that or have baby birds in it earlier.
I was thinking about the baby bird stuff, but
that would be fantastic. Your children would love that.
The dog might try and eat that. So welcome, everybody, and welcome in. My voice is a little hoarse today. Welcome in for another episode of our show. As usual, make sure to go to the YouTube page and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I Come Play With Us Danny show whenever new episodes drop. We're actually live right now, which we hardly ever do. But I figure since we haven't been in a while, why don't I do a live show and see how many people like tune in and stuff. So
great.
Tonight we've got lots of movie news, lots of things that if we had a dozen eggs, I wish I had more to throw at movie executives for the amount of dumb ideas that's coming out right now, where they're taking sacred IPs and just taking a big old pile of poop on them. So I digress, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But tonight's movie review is Dark Harvest, a 2023 American fantasy horror film directed by David Slade and written by Michael Gilio, loosely based on their... God, I'm burping all over the place now, too.
My God.
Loosely based on the 2006 novel of the same name by Norman Partridge. It stars Casey Likes, Amir Crutchfield, Dustin Ceithamer, Elizabeth Reaser, and Jeremy Davies. This movie was a limited release. It was selected exclusively for the Alamo Drafthouse Cinema Theaters. If you guys don't know what that is, the Alamo Drafthouse is a sacred institution that plays awesome movies. It's a great theatrical place to go if you're ever in the Texas area. Go to Alamo Theaters. I want to take a pilgrimage there one day.
I've actually been to an Alamo Drafthouse, but not in Texas. They do have some up north.
But it's not the same, though.
No.
It's not the same.
No.
This movie just dropped on Amazon Prime to stream free. So if you got Amazon Prime, well, do I suggest this movie? Here's my thoughts on Dark Harvest.
Please.
Okay, so I've seen so many websites with glowing reviews about this movie, and I've been hearing about this for a while, and I was like, okay, I'll wait till it comes on one of the streaming services and check it out. Finally, it dropped on Amazon Prime, and luckily we're doing a show this week. And what was all the hype about? I don't understand. Here the concept mashes a lot of other films together. I like. Here's the few things that I do like about it. I like the 1960s setting.
Okay, I'll give you that
because it's different from what we're seeing nowadays. Which most horror films nowadays are in the present. We don't see a lot of movies that go back into the past like this one is set in the 1960s. But bad acting. The script just had holes all over the place. The monster was like the anorexic version of Pumpkinhead.
Yes.
And it just... The ending was like an FU. I know it leaves the door open for a sequel, but it could have been... It's one of those movies where it's like... It could have been so much more. You know what I mean? It just...
Can I tell you what I liked?
Nothing.
The only thing I liked that I had appreciation for was the cinematography.
Okay, yeah, I'll give it that too.
That was it. That was the only thing that I was like, all right, I'll give it to him. This is decent. Did you understand the concept? Did you understand the concept?
Yeah. I went back and I kind of read a few articles about it where there's social, But
watching the movie though, did you understand the concept? That was my point. Did you understand the concept of the movie?
Not really.
Okay. For those who haven't seen this movie, this is obviously the trailer for it.
Which is this is the type of movie that has the trailer that looks good,
Yes,
and
it
then when you
does.
go see the movie, it's you lied to us. Like this should have been like I think it was Watch Mojo. Watch Mojo just came out with a list with like the top 20 trailers that fooled us, and this should have been on the list.
And I'm kind of upset because there are some actual stars in this movie where like
Stars.
okay, so actors that I have appreciation for. So Elizabeth Reaser, she's in this movie. She plays the mother. And I'm a huge fan of Haunting of Hill House and Haunting of Bly Manor. She's in both of those movies, or both of those Netflix movies. Granted, they're Netflix, but she is a good actress. So when I saw that she was online for this, I was like, all right, cool. No, this is like this. If you were to watch this trailer, you were like, all right, fucking, this is great.
That's why I was kind of sold on it to begin with. Like when I watched the trailer, it looked good. Especially, I like the cool masks that the kids wear, like when they go out hunting and stuff.
Do you know what the masks are supposed to be based off of?
No, I don't know. I don't get anything of this film.
The masks are based off of. Oh, and I'm just drawing a freaking blank right now. The masks.
Oh, from like the Misfits.
The Misfits. That's why they wear that. So that's what they're supposed to be doing. But like,
but the Misfits were like a 1970s punk band.
But
70s early. This is set in the 60s.
I know, but and I don't understand the concept of Sawtooth Jack. So when they try
and you fill them with candy, and you go hunt.
But when they tried to explain the origin of Sawtooth Jack, which I don't even know why they call him Sawtooth Jack. No one even explains that. Like it doesn't.
It sounded cool.
I guess it didn't say. It should have been anorexic pumpkinhead.
Yeah.
It doesn't say. He starts to explain about this dust storm, but what does the dust storm have to do with Sawtooth Jack? I don't.
That's why this movie has so many plot holes to it. Because there was like no explanations for a lot of things.
Like I kind of figured it out for the first couple of scenes that the older brother ended up being Sawtooth Jack, but my question is like, who's the dude in the fucking creepy cornfield? They don't even explain who he is, other than the fact that he puts a pumpkin over some guy's head that's on the on where the scarecrow stands.
You know what this could be? It like with the cornfields and everything. What if this was like a prequel to like Children of the Corn?
Not a fucking another one. Come on.
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
But like it has so many different elements of like, okay, Pumpkinhead.
Right.
And when the thing goes into the house, that's kind of like trick or treat.
It's like a Halloween version. Well, watching it, I was like, okay, Pumpkinhead.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, is this like the Purge? This is the Purge?
It's kind of like the Purge. And my question is, why do they keep the boys inside the house and starve
them for 3? That's so stupid.
It doesn't make any sense.
So they could go after and hunt for candy?
That's inside Sawtooth Jack. So this guy is out in the middle of a cornfield. He kills the guy that wins.
Right.
And then he turns into this pumpkin thing. So he stuffs them with candy. And so the guys kill the thing and eat the candy, and then they win the money, and then the cycle keeps going.
Dumb. Like if it were me, if I was locked in a room for 3 days and I was let out after 3, I'm going to like 7-Eleven or Wawa and getting a sub. I'm not going and like hunting down a monster with candy inside his belly. That's like the dumbest thing.
I'm gonna go to a restaurant. I'm going to like Longhorn or something.
I'm going to Taco Bell.
Like, but I don't get that. They never explain that. So I guess if I ever decided to read the book, I guess.
Well, usually the book is better than the movies.
Well, and here's my thing is I wonder if they took the concept of the book and just tried to put it into the movie, but didn't. What was the runtime of this? Do you know what the runtime of it was? Like, I don't know what the runtime was on it. I just know that I was not
short enough. Not short enough. That's the runtime. Not short enough.
I don't know. I don't get it. it was kind of thrown together. 96 minutes. 96 minutes.
Yeah. So like the industry standard of like an hour and a half,
give or
pretty
take.
much, give or take.
So here's the plot for those who don't understand.
A pumpkin guy full of candy,
and it's like the same. It's the same candy every time.
I have to ask, like, they win $25,000 and then they won a Corvette. Like, who's donating this stuff?
The harvesters. The Harvester League, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand.
Look,
this is
we're not shitting on this movie. Everybody,
no.
Look, it's tough to make a horror movie. It's tough to make a movie in general.
It is.
But
I just wish there was more of the explanation.
Yeah. If there was more, if the plot holes were filled in, then we would have like a coherent movie. But it was.
This is a pothole kind of movie. This is not even a plot hole. It's a pothole.
Yeah, plot hole.
This is in 1962. The teenage boys of a small rural town compete in the annual Halloween run. This is supposed to be based in Illinois, by the way. They must stop a deadly supernatural creature known as Sawtooth Jack from reaching the church before midnight. I don't understand why, if he has to reach the church either. This year, Jim Shepard kills this creature and leaves the boys in feasting on its candy innards.
I also have another question about that. So is he like just like a piñata? He's like a living piñata. He's a murderous living piñata. That's what he is. He's stuffing full of candy, and then the kids go hunt him down. He's a murderous piñata.
I guess. I mean, this doesn't
really. They could have called this piñata.
It says, meanwhile, a farmer turns an emaciated corpse into a scarecrow. How? With a carved pumpkin for a head, sewing candy inside the body before it rises as Sawtooth Jack. I don't get it. I wish there was more to this movie.
That's what my complaint is. I wish there was like more. Like fill in the gaps, man. Like give us more. Like I
don't understand
how you tempt me their trailer and then just
I know it's like nope. Sorry,
no,
too
so close. Oh.
I don't get it, and I hated the ending. I'm sorry. I literally yelled at my TV. I was like, "The fuck."
Yeah, I trust me. I hated it as well. I looked at it and I was like, "This is the most cop out ending set up for a sequel you could do."
Hey, I told you it was shit when I was watching. I had to stop halfway through. I was like, I don't understand. Why did you want me to watch this?
And here's the thing, Megan. Here's the thing. We'll probably get a sequel.
That's great. If you're gonna do a sequel,
put
more into it. Yes.
And improve upon it, yeah.
Do more than 96 minutes.
No, don't do more than 96 minutes. Make 96 minutes of a good movie.
Just give me something that I can watch and be like, all right, cool. I understand the gist of this. This is literally like I understood, and this is gonna be horrible. I understood more about Skinamarink than I did about this movie.
There's not too much to understand.
No, there's not. But like I understood the concept of Skinamarink more than I did this movie.
That's all I've got to say about that.
I mean, I this movie frustrated me because I knew that there was like more. There's more of a concept to it. Like I was like, all right, cool. I like the concept. I like what they're going with this. But I don't get it.
Yeah,
the explanation wasn't there.
With me, it was just like there are a lot of things that I scratched my head on. Like, why do that? Like, why sit in a room for 3 days and then go hunt for a murderous piñata, and instead of just going down to the kitchen and getting a PB&J and some milk? Like
who's
like
the old man in the cornfield? I don't know.
Like
that made me more frustrated than anything.
Why?
My other question. Okay, so if the old man in the cornfield, was he Officer Rick's dad?
He might have been like Sawtooth Jack, but as not Sawtooth Jack. He was the guy that gave the candy away.
Where did he get the candy?
And
why was it the same kind every time?
It's magical candy.
Can't.
Anyways, if you want to waste 96 minutes of your life, go watch Dark
That'd be
Harvest on Amazon
really
Prime.
frustrated. I mean, I think if you were high, it would probably be better.
I was just about to say that if you are like really stoned one night, if you take an edible or hit some bong hits and like want to waste 96 minutes of your life while stoned, go watch Dark Harvest.
Just need some background noise or something.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to get frustrated while stoned, watch Dark Harvest.
Yeah.
Because then you can start asking yourself those questions. Why do this?
I almost wish I was high when I was watching this movie. I was like, this would have made it so much better than I would.
I wish I was too. I was like, I don't why do this? So
okay.
All right, moving along. And now for movie news. You saw the first Strangers movie, correct?
Oh, yeah, many moons ago, yes.
A long time ago. Liv Tyler came out with, it was a great movie. Great, very tension-filled movie. I love the first Strangers. Of course, they had a couple of sequels that came out afterwards. But now we are getting a trailer for The Strangers Chapter 1, which will arrive tomorrow. I guess this is going to be like, it's almost like a prequel-esque new like chapter, like new trilogy of The Strangers. So hopefully it can live up to the original.
Now, they've made The Strangers over again for that, correct? There was another Strangers?
There's been like 2 sequels, and I think they did like a reboot.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So this might be something. I don't know. The first one was such a good movie. Mm-hmm. It's hard to top that, because I remember going into the theaters and seeing The Strangers and being relatively going, this, like, it's one of those movies where I was really on edge about what's going to happen next, because it was just a really good directed movie. I mean, home invasion, 3 people wearing masks, stalking you. You got to hide in the closet. You don't know where you're coming from. Why are they doing this? There's no explanation why they're doing this. It was a great movie. And I didn't see the sequels, but it's hard to live up to the OG. So, I mean,
well, and it kind of opened the doors for like home invasion movies.
Right. Yeah, that is true too. That is true too.
Because at that time, there really wasn't anything in that type of concept. And I mean, since then, there's obviously been other movies that have been made, like Hush and stuff like that.
Right.
But that one kind of opened the door for actual, like, that genre of home invasion.
Right. All right. The master of horror himself, John Carpenter, will be giving us some big news in the next couple of days. He tweeted out a couple of days ago, big news awaits, including a photo of himself in the tweet. So it could be anything. A lot of people think it's going to be the Lost Themes Part 4, the next installment in a series from Sacred Bones Records, which is new music, or what it could be, the next thing. Dun, dun, dun. There's been some rumblings about John Carpenter going back to The Thing, making a sequel.
Oof.
Could happen. Maybe
That's a stretch.
Well, it's in Hollywood nowadays, anything's possible. So
I know. Trust me.
Take a look out for John Carpenter's big news on social media.
Okay.
All right. You know how I teased out IPs getting pooped on? Thinking of the show.
Yeah.
So The Abomination, the Don't Tell Mom, the Babysitter's Dead remake is coming to theaters in April.
Oh God. Yeah, I know you sent me this the other day.
Why do this? Why is it going to theaters? I don't know why. I know this isn't a horror movie, but why even touch this IP?
Maybe because this generation has no idea what the original is. I don't know.
And go and rent it on Amazon.
I'm appalled that they're actually doing this again. Like, why?
I don't know.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Of all the movies that you can pick.
The teaser came out, I believe it was yesterday. It looks terrible.
I know, I watched it.
Be on the lookout.
Yeah.
I will, yeah. Okay. Aubrey Plaza.
Yes.
No, I'll get to that in a minute. That's kind of like our last thing. Aubrey Plaza. I love Aubrey Plaza. She's been in so many good things. Yes. She is going to be starring in a movie called Liarmouth, the first movie from director John Waters in 20 years. It's been a long time since we've had something from John Waters.
Yep.
And now we're getting a new movie from him. which will star Aubrey Plaza, and it'll be called Liarmouth. So be on the lookout for that. I've always been a fan of John Waters. I know he's been in the Chucky series, the TV series that's been out. His movies have been just bonkers, out of control. Going back to the days of the Pink Flamingos and Crybaby, and just,
I mean, it wouldn't be John Waters if it wasn't. So I mean,
yeah, that's true too as well. So something new from John Waters is always a treat. So be on the lookout for John Waters' next film starring Aubrey Plaza. I'm sure it's going to be weird and just bonkers. So the capper to the X trilogy is coming out soon, Maxine, but it may not be a trilogy after all. Director T. West is saying there might be a possibility of a fourth movie after this third one coming out. He did say, and he's quoting me saying, there is one weird idea that I have, what is kind of, if I explain it, it would make more sense, but we'll see what happens. Let's just get this movie done first, see if people like it, and then we'll go from there. I don't know, man. I don't know. It depends on how Maxine ends, if you're going to do a fourth one. Because I think, obviously, we have our thoughts about Pearl. But if this is like the trilogy of the X series, like, keep it as a trilogy, man. Like, don't do a fourth one. Unless you're going to, because what, Maxine's set in the 80s?
Give or take, yes.
Yeah, you can do the fourth one in the 90s and then maybe do the fifth one in the 2000s, but it kind of depends on how Maxine does.
That's kind of a stretch, though. I wouldn't do it that far into it. Like, I would just leave it at the 80s and be done with it.
Yeah, I would too.
Because I think you're just going to end up poking the bear going further into it.
It's Hollywood. Hollywood, man.
I know. And Mia Goth gets annoying after a while, so I don't know how far you want to get. How far you want to get into it without turning it off in the middle and going, I can't listen to her anymore.
Yeah, that's true. I listened to one of her interviews and it's like I had to mute it, turn down the sound for a little bit. I love Mia Goth. She's great, but
small doses.
All right, now we'll get into our section of the show where IPs that are getting shit on. Lionsgate, of all studios, which Lionsgate has put out some classic movies.
They have.
Is reportedly planning a new versions of American Psycho and The Dead Zone.
Stop.
Yes.
My head hurts now. Why?
I don't know. I don't know why.
Look, I've said this numerous times before. I am not a filmmaker by any standards whatsoever. But at this point, I feel like my cat can make a better movie in the original concept than what everybody's doing. Like, get off your asses and think of something new. There's all kinds of concepts you could take and peel and pick, and it doesn't even have to be a remake. Stop doing remakes. Stop.
Stop trying to do reimaginings of movies in the present day.
Because you're killing it. Movies are something that people are supposed to enjoy from a certain time period.
Yes. That's why they're called classics.
That's why they're called classics.
They don't need to be redone. They don't need to be redone again. I'm more upset about them remaking American Psycho.
Oh, I'm horrified over that. And that is a movie that is one of those movies where it kind of gets slipped under the rug if you're not a real horror fan type of movie. Like, you don't really kind of know about it unless you've really seen the movie and you know the concept of it.
And as a person that's read not only the book but watched the movie, they both have a special place in my fandom, but you can't do this in present day. There's no way you'd be able to tell American Psycho in the present day because that movie was set in the 80s.
Yes.
Early 90s, and that it's a time period piece because of what
for a reason.
Yeah, for a reason, exactly. So if you're trying to do American Psycho in this day and age, it wouldn't have the same effect. And you call it something else. Because don't use the character Patrick Bateman. Don't use it at all. Don't use his character. Like, name it something else. Because I just don't see it translating that well to the screen. It's I don't know why they don't take a look. Do you know they remade Jacob's Ladder?
When?
Yeah. It was a couple of years ago. They remade Jacob's Ladder. It went straight to streaming, and it was terrible. They remade Jacob's Ladder. Like, they tried to have it set in the present day, which you can't do that. You can't. Look, you can debate. Look, people watching and listening to this, you can debate us all day long about, hey, you could do it in the modern age, but there's certain movies or certain books that you can't put in the modern age because of the way the world is now. Like, the concept would be totally different. It would be so dumb.
It was written for that time period, like I said before. So, like American Psycho, you have certain songs. Huey Lewis in the News. You have certain fashion icons. You have certain ways of dressing. Like, that movie was set in that time. Like, you can't remake a movie and expect it to be. I mean, what are you going to use?
Hey, Halberstram, is that an X? Why, yes, Paul, it is.
Yeah, like, what are you going to do? Like, fucking Taylor Swift in the background? Like, I don't get that. Like, you can't do that.
And here's what I'm thinking too: is the main character. They're going to gender swap. It'll be a woman. No offense, Megan. It'll be a woman, or I don't see how they're going to be able to do it.
Like, I'm all for, in certain instances, gender swapping a character when it works. But for that type of movie, don't. Like, you can't. There's Patricia Bateman. Is that what we're gonna do? Like, you can't.
Well,
do stuff like that.
They tried to do that with the stupid sequel American Psycho 2, which starred Mila Kunis. But like, Mila Kunis she wasn't related to Patrick Bateman at all. She was like a victim that got away from Patrick Bateman. And
that's perfectly fine. That concept is fine, but you cannot remake this movie and set it in the present day. It's going to look ridiculous. It's going to look stupid.
Also, too, like that book had meaning behind it because it was set in the 80s. It was all about materialism and the drug use in it too, where everybody was taking so many drugs, like they didn't know who they were. And it was so much behind the book, and the movie did a great job of doing it. I mean, obviously there was a lot of stuff in the book that wasn't in the film, but it translated very well. So I just don't see how they're going to take that and try and put it into a modern spin.
No,
I don't. Yeah.
And they had it for like different social classes too for people.
Right.
And nowadays that's not really a thing. Like, everybody wants to be the same pretty much. But back in the 80s, social classes was a huge thing. Like, you had people that were in upper classes, people that were considered like actual rich people, like Patrick Bateman was considered. And I don't know how that's yuppie basically. I don't know how that's going to translate to now, because we don't have that split in between things.
And there's no social media.
No, none. No social media.
So,
and the phones were fucking huge. Like, I don't know how that's gonna.
They were bricks.
Talking in a brick.
They were bricks.
Okay,
I can, you know what I can see happening. You know, the business card scene.
Yeah.
Where they're comparing business cards. They're gonna try and do a scene kind of like that with either like an Instagram page or some kind of like social media where, oh my God, it's so much better than me. He took, like, I can just see it happening right now where they're going to try and take.
My Facebook page is updated more than yours.
Yeah. Like, they'll try and take something like, oh, my TikTok has more followers than you. Like, no, it does not have the same impact, man. It just. All right. We'll end the show with another IP being shitted on, which I think I sent this to you, last night?
Please show the photo that I sent you.
Well, I'm not going to send you. I don't have that one up. I just have of him. That's your new Crow, everyone. Take it all in.
So online, and I was just reading reviews about this. There's mixed reviews about this.
I would hope so.
So this, for those who don't have no idea what The Crow is, this is a 1990s film that was pretty much shaped my teenage years. Okay. This was one of the best movies there was. In that time, there was a lot of grunge. There was a lot of rock. Like, this movie was based around this.
Great soundtrack. Oh.
And I think you and I talked about this in the past show about Bill Skarsgård. He's an amazing actor.
Yeah. He is.
This is not. That's exactly what I told you. For those who don't
I had to
know
tweet
who
this
this
out
is,
last night. I had to tweet
for
this out.
those who don't know who this is,
that's your new Crow.
For who lives in Florida, this is the Joker. This is the guy who has tattooed his face. Now flip it back to Bill.
Who was suing Rockstar Games, by the way, because
yeah, I know they've used his image.
They may have used his likeness for a character on the show.
Come on, y'all! Like
GTA
Brandon.
6.
For those who, where's my 90s babies? For those who knows this is not okay. This is not okay. This is not okay. Okay, this is not. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not an okay representation of this movie.
This is
right there.
That is.
This is Brandon Lee.
That's not. That's not. This is.
This is.
This is not.
Nope.
This
no,
is.
no. That is.
Yeah, that is.
Brandon Lee would be turning over in his grave right now. For those who do not know, that Brandon Lee is not alive. He was actually killed halfway through the movie.
Accidentally.
By the way. But for fuck's sake.
Can we analyze the new version? Now, obviously this might not be like, I hope this isn't the final like version of of the Crow. Like maybe this is halfway through his transformation. Because he looks like a mix between Pennywise, and also Jared Leto's version of the Joker in Suicide Squad.
He looks like a methed out version of the Crow, is what he looked like. He looks like a meth. No, he doesn't even look like the Crow. He looks like a methed out version of Pennywise and the Joker.
Yeah, like
that's what he looks like.
I don't feel the need to have all the tats, man. Like
no, Brandon Lee didn't have those in the original movie. Like again, stop trying to adapt movies for different time periods from when they were put into it. Stop. What the fuck is this?
Remember, this is the Crow. This isn't.
That's a turkey.
Crow. This isn't.
Yeah. No, it's not. Come on.
Yeah, when those photos came out, I think it was it yesterday? Yeah, late yesterday afternoon. I had to do a double take because there was so much hype with, hey, they're remaking The Crow. Okay, I'm open to it if you keep it like kind of in the same elements as the original movie, where it's dark, it's gothic. The character of the Crow is well represented. Yeah, Pigeon. Lynn said Pigeon. Yeah, I agree.
Pigeon. Yes.
Pigeon.
Pigeon. That's a pigeon.
But when this image came out, this is the Juggalo. This is the Juggalo Crow.
Oh God, this is
because look, we
ICP member. Yep.
Yes, and Megan, yep. I remember going to the comic book stores in Bradenton and seeing murals of the Crow, and the Crow was long black hair.
Yep.
No tats. Nope. He had the like, that's the true representation. And even after the movie was over, like the Crow has lived really, like, the longevity of the characters lived on since the movie came out.
There's all kinds of merchandise with Brandon Lee's figure and everything like that. Like, so I'm looking at this photo of Bill Skarsgård, and again, this is not shitting on him by any standards. He's a wonderful actor, but he is not the right choice for this. And I think I said this earlier. This is not a choice they should have put for this film. Look over his eye. He's got writing on the top of his eye, just like the Joker character of Jared Leto did.
Yes.
Why?
Because he's the Juggalo.
If y'all just would see this full photo of him, because he's got the thing open, he looks like a Chipotle bag. He looks like every SoundCloud rapper that has the stupid tats.
I was gonna say that he does look like a SoundCloud rapper.
That's what he looks like. He looks dumb.
Dumb like this?
Yes. Okay. Now, mind you, I did like that.
Not character. This, but
not that.
This.
That.
This.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't. Somebody, they could have put somebody into this role. For fuck's sake, put fucking Christian Bale in this role at this point. He knows how to
And here's my other thing too, which we both kind of agree this was kind of miscasting, was I'm glad Lynn said this in the comments. He was classy in a true gothic way. When I think of Brandon Lee's representation of the Crow, his portrayal of the Crow is the character was also a romanticized gothic character too. I don't see Skarsgård as being like a sex symbol at all. He just like every time I see him playing a character, it's like it's Pennywise.
Yeah.
That's all I see. Like, no offense to Bill, he's a great actor. Yeah.
Would you like a balloon?
Yeah, like he's a great actor. He immerses himself as being a villain in each of his roles, but like I just can't see him as an anti-hero, like really suave. It's just,
and I feel like they're gonna leave his hair short because
they are.
And that's not. Brandon Lee had long hair. What is this? What is this?
Well, I don't know, man.
I don't get it. His fingers are tattooed and I don't get it.
Not everything has to be a juggalo. This is the Crow. This isn't.
No.
This is the Crow.
Yep.
This is.
That's a pigeon.
Crow. Pigeon.
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 I just don't get it.
Yeah, I was reading threads on social media, especially on Twitter, and a lot of people are just
appalled, because that's why I am. I'm appalled. Like, I just want to stick a red wig on his head and be done with it. Like, I don't get it.
You know, Megan, I'm not appalled. I'm more about, I'm more like this. It's typical.
At this point, yes.
At this point, it's typical. It's typical Hollywood middling. Typical.
Yep. I have 2 movies to list before we go.
Sure.
That you haven't listed, that it might get us off this horrible fucking taste in my mouth type of pigeonry.
Please do.
All right. So I don't know. This might put a bad taste in everybody else's mouth. So another movie that has just been produced by New Line Cinema is The Watchers, 2024, from Ishana Shyamalan. For those who know
M.
that.
Night Shyamalan.
I'm not Shyamalan's.
M. Night Shyamalan.
It's his. No, it's his daughter.
Oh, that's right. His daughter, Shauna, is directing it.
Shauna, yes.
He's producing it. That's right.
This has Dakota Fanning in it. I actually saw the trailer for it. I'm okay with it. I didn't see his last film, or the last film. What was the last film they made? God,
I forget his last film. I don't know what it was.
It was the one about the cabin that had
Dave, but yeah,
Dave Bautista in it. So you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Anyway, so this is the official The Watchers. So this is actually set in Ireland. It looks interesting. I'm a big fan of Dakota Fanning. She's been in some different, some good movies. Mm-hmm. And I'm willing to give this a chance. Like, there's these creatures that watch over them at night, and nobody really, there you go. That nobody really knows what these creatures are. Now, in Ireland, there is different type of mythological creatures that they have.
Is it Nessie?
No, not Nessie. Excuse me. There is another one. It was called Red something. It's a little Irish figure that if you have to feed them meat, otherwise they get real feral.
Give me the gold.
There you go.
Give me the gold.
This looks okay. I'm all right with this, and I'll review this a little bit further as soon as it gets out a little bit more. But I'm okay, sort of, with this because it's his daughter that produced this.
The trailer looks slick. I'll give it that, but I just hope she doesn't take a page out of her dad's book of like giving us a stupid twist ending. Like, these people are in this place and it turns out to be reality TV and people are watching them.
Yeah, so you can't see them.
You know what I mean?
I mean, the trailer looks good, but again, the trailer to Dark Harvest looked good too, and we got
like pulled over. I can just see this being the twist ending. Oh, they're on a reality TV show. That's my hey, The Watchers.
Yeah.
I mean, go figure.
I mean, hey,
I'll give it a chance. I'll give it a shot.
All right, so the other one I have is called Sting. This is a 2024 horror zombie flick. It's an hour and 31 minutes. Terror strikes on 12-year-old Charlotte's pet spider rapidly transforms into a giant flesh-eating monster. Director is Kia Roach Turner. It is released on April 12th, 2024. It doesn't really give much of an actual. I think I sent you the trailer for it. It doesn't give like an actual like.
Which I'm fine if
overview.
there's. I don't. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with
Yes.
a movie that doesn't give you a lot.
Yeah.
Just like that movie that's going to come out soon with Nicolas Cage, Long Legs. Like,
Yes.
each of those trailers for Long Legs doesn't give you anything, and the synopsis has been very tight-lipped,
which is fine.
Which is great. I would love them to. I would love studios to keep doing that, especially for horror films. Like, I'm all in on Long Legs. I can't wait for that to come out because it looks creepy as hell. This looks fun. Like, Sting looks fun.
Yes, this looks fun. This looks interesting. In that one scene that you just saw the guy in the apartment with, it kind of looks like an arachnophobia type of film, and I'm okay with that. This movie also reminds me a little bit of Cobweb, just because of how weird it was and just kind of the setting of it. Now, granted, Cobweb kind of lost it on the end of the movie, but I feel like this one might be kind of in that same thing. But I think it'd be kind of cool to watch. I mean,
watching the trailer for the first time, it was like, hey, okay, this is like arachnophobia mixed with a murderous Charlotte's Web.
Yes. I mean, and the girl's name is Charlotte, so there's a parrot. All right.
Yeah. Okay. So this gives off like fun horror movie, like dark comedy horror movie vibes, which I love. And I thought the trailer for this was pretty slick. So I
did too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think the concept of it's really, really cool. So
okay. Yep. Yeah. So there's my two that I had.
Which I liked. Yes. We ended the show not angry like we were.
A giant pile of steaming crap.
On steaming crap. So, well, thank you everybody. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Come Play with Us, Danny, the horror movie review podcast, hosted by myself and my sister Megan. Make sure to hit the notification bell and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Come Play with Us, Danny Show. We will be back soon with another movie review, and hopefully not news where IPs are getting shitted on by movie studios. So for myself and Megan, we'll see you later. Bye. Bye-bye.